Alrighty, it's 5:02. Once again, welcome to New York City Public Schools Internship Certificate presentation. My name is Stefan Murray Galanich. I will be your facilitator today as we go through this information session. I'm going to start out by laying out some things about our chat and how you can ask questions. So I'm going to jump right into it. So before we begin, use the Q&A function to submit feedback, questions, ideas, and more. We'll share what comes in there through the session. You'll receive a recording of the webinar tomorrow after the session is over. You can use the camera function on your smartphone to easily open links via QR codes throughout the webinar. Once again, if you miss one, you are going to get a recording, so you can always go back and use that QR code again. Now, there are many people on this call, so we're going to try to get to as many questions as we can throughout the presentation. We have some people in the chat that are answering questions. If we don't get to your question, we're going to point you to our support center at teachnyc.net, and I'm going to show that towards the end of the presentation. So as you have questions, you can type them into the questions section of the GoToWebinar. I also want everyone to write this website down, teachnyc.net. It's the ultimate resource for all things related to teaching at New York City Public Schools. It's been redesigned to provide great new resources and tools to help you learn about New York City Public Schools and find the pathway to teaching that's right for you. So today's agenda. So today's session is for teacher candidates who have or are close to completing 50% of the graduate degree and are interested in pursuing an internship certificate. Now, if you already are New York State certified to teach, this might not be the session for you. You might want to wait until our next our session in January when our application does open. So once again, if you are already certified, this session is not for you. It's for candidates who have close to or have 50% of the graduate degree in teaching completed and are interested in pursuing an internship certificate. So what we're going to do today is do an overview of New York City Public Schools. We're going to talk about the internship certificate. And we're going to go through the teacher application process and the job search process. And then if there is time at the end, we'll try to answer some questions at the end. So New York City Public Schools overview. So in this session, I'm going to do a brief overview of New York City Public Schools, snapshots of the district, benefits of a career with New York City Public Schools, and a lot of our teacher supports and opportunities. So when you join New York City Public Schools, you join the largest, most dynamic district in the nation with over 900,000 students who speak over 180 languages and a network of 77,000 fellow teachers. New York City educators have the unique privilege and responsibility to jumpstart the next generation of innovators, leaders, and citizens. New York City Public Schools students represent a wide range of backgrounds, identities, languages, and learning needs. They need teachers who reflect their diversity, and we are ready and able to support their learning. Whatever your background, experience, and skill sets are, there are students in New York City Public School classrooms waiting for a teacher like you. New York City New York City has 1,600 schools that are as diverse as our students and the distinctive neighborhoods we serve. From neighborhood schools with deep roots in their local community to small thematic schools in the performing arts. There are schools with a focus in STEAM, humanities, and dual language schools. Whatever your interest or passion may be, there is a school for you. You can choose a school that fits your teaching philosophy and engage with a community of like-minded professionals. Within our schools, teachers build personal connections with their students, colleagues, and families to support relationship building and learning outcomes. And we'll talk later about how to find your fit and navigate the job search process in New York City. Now, New York City Public Schools is dedicated to attracting and retaining the very best teachers for our schools. We're looking for passionate, collaborative, and committed teachers who reflect the incredible diversity of our student body. Passionate. Our team of exceptional educators are passionate about educating students, truly believing in the power education can make in students' lives. Collaborative. Our teachers thrive on constant learning and collaboration with colleagues. committed. Our teachers go above and beyond for students, understanding students' challenges and embracing their potential. And finally, diverse. We seek teachers who are as diverse as our students and help put our students on the path to college, careers, and a lifetime of learning. So I'm going to just showcase a few teacher testimonials. So on the left here, we have Sergio. He graduated from Brooklyn College. He teaches middle school English language arts. He actually currently became an assistant principal. And his quote is, "If you're here, it's because you are passionate about education and helping students learn in the most diverse city in the world." And on the right, we have Charlene, who teaches science in a high school focused on supporting English language learners and has had the opportunity to support students during these critical years as they are learning English and preparing for college study in the health sciences. And I'll just take a sec so you guys can read the second quote. Now, what are the benefits of a teaching career at New York City Public Schools? So first, make a difference in the lives of your fellow New Yorkers, maybe even those in your local community. Focus on building a better future, using your skills to help develop the nation's next leaders, innovators, and educators. Build relationships with colleagues dedicated to a shared goal. Once again, you'd be joining a robust network of over 77,000 teachers. We also offer competitive salaries. As of September 2025, starting salaries are $68,950 for a bachelor's and no experience, and $77,455 with a master's and no experience. Teacher starting salaries vary based on education and experience, and you can also earn additional compensation for teaching after school, summer school programs, and for teaching in demanding environments. Just a note here, on September 14th, 2026, starting salaries will increase to $71,314 and $80,166 respectively. Now, the Office of Teacher Recruitment and Quality is unable to predict what your starting salary will be based on your experience and your educational attainment, regardless of the teaching pathway you choose. You can estimate your starting salary by visiting the UFT salary schedule. So if you scan that, that will take you there. And this outlines opportunities for increases based on previous teaching experience, longevity at New York City Public Schools, and educational credits. Now, all teachers begin at the base salary and then apply for salary steps and salary differentials using the salary application system after beginning teaching. And actually, if you do go on our website at teachnyc.net, we do have a salary and benefits info session recorded webinar that you can also watch if you need more information on the salary and the benefits there. If you are, now just some notes here. So if you are a paraprofessional, unfortunately, your years of service do not count toward teaching salary steps. But if you are a full-time substitute teacher, your experience does count as full-time teaching, but you need to provide documentation and proof of your full-time work. Now looking ahead, now this slide shows and looks ahead to what your salary would be in the future of New York City Public Schools. If you're currently in your 8th year of teaching with your master's plus 30 credits and professional development courses, you'd be earning $103,291. If you have 15 years of teaching at New York City Public Schools with your master's degree plus those 30 credits and professional development courses, you'd be making $123,939. Now remember, this is using the pay scale for the 2025 school season. So these rates are subject to increase with the yearly raises negotiated with the UFT, the union. Now you can find additional resources regarding salaries on the following web pages. I can just take a second here and you can use your phone to scan the QR codes. Once again, you'll get a recording of this so you can always go back and scan those. So here's some of the other benefits available to New York City Public Schools teachers. There's a comprehensive health insurance plan. Now this includes dental, vision, and prescription drugs. And some of these plans require no employee contribution. There's also annual retention bonuses. and these are prorated during your first year and increase each year. And of course, there's membership with the United Federation of Teachers, the Teachers Union, and enrollment in the pension plan. Now, New York City Public Schools employees are eligible for many additional benefits. This includes commuter benefits, college savings program, and employee discounts on everything from technology and media to travel and education. In addition, there's scholarships, financial incentives, and other special programs that are available for many employees. There's also a loan forgiveness program you could be eligible for as a New York City Public Schools teacher. New York City Public Schools employees may be eligible for the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program, which is PSLF. The PSLF program forgives the remaining balance on your direct loans after you've made the equivalent of 120 qualifying monthly payments under an accepted repayment plan and while working full-time for an eligible employer. For more information, just scan that QR code. Now, new teachers in New York City hit the ground running with professional resources and learning opportunities tailored just for them. So in addition to the many career development opportunities available to all teachers, we offer robust supports for our new teachers, in person, online, and in community settings. These include New Teacher Week. It's an annual event where new teachers can get inspiration from special guest speakers, learn about key policies, engage with the United Federation of Teachers, UFT, and network teachers. There's also school-based mentoring. So new hires with an initial or Trans B license aren't assigned an experienced and trained mentor teacher to support professional growth throughout year one. There's also the First Class newsletter, which is a monthly digital bulletin for first-year teachers that spotlights vetted resources, teaching tips, and answers to common new teacher questions. Teachers in New York City Public Schools, no matter where they are in their careers, also have access to professional development opportunities at their schools, including coaching, professional development days, and after-school learning opportunities. In addition to school-based supports, optional development opportunities are made available by various teams, including New York City Public Schools offices and the UFT. We also offer digital resources for busy teachers to find resources for their classroom and regularly stay connected to opportunities. There's also teacher leader opportunities for those who go a couple years into their teaching careers. These opportunities are available. And here you can, responsibilities include leading a laboratory classroom, facilitating professional collaborations, coaching peers and colleagues, and advocating in leadership conversations. You can earn up to an additional $20,000 per year. Now, for more information about that, this is a couple years down the line, but as you grow as a teacher, this is a great opportunity to earn more money and to become one of these, either a model teacher, master teacher, or a peer collaborative teacher. And you could scan for more information. So now we're going to go into what we're really going to be talking about today, which is the internship certificate. So what is an internship certificate, the benefits, and how to obtain an internship certificate. So first and foremost, all New York City teachers must hold a valid teaching certificate from the New York State Education Department. Many of you are probably currently in your schooling, in your master's program, trying to complete that to get that certification. So it's very important that everyone strives to get this certification. So what is an internship certificate? So the internship certificate, this is a 2-year certificate available to students who have completed at least 50% of an approved New York State graduate program, leading to an initial certificate. Once again, that's a 2-year certificate, and it's available to graduate students who have completed at least 50% of an approved New York State graduate program. Now, for more information, it's important to be talking to your university about what this looks like, as it varies by program. So why work with an internship certificate? So first, you help meet immediate needs across New York City. Secondly, you obtain hands-on teaching experience while working towards completion of your degree and your initial certificate requirements. And finally, begin earning a full-time teaching salary while you're still in your school completing your program. Also, just a note here that working under an internship certificate meets student teacher requirements. So we talked through why you want to work under an internship certificate. Now we're going to talk through how you go about obtaining your internship certificate. So there are specific steps you'll need to take, as well as specific steps your college or university will need to take. Now, once again, just a quick note that every university has its own process for providing internship certs, and you should find out that exact timeline, point person, and process for your specific university. This is just a general overview that may be different from what is required at your school. So you, as the candidate, you're going to meet with your college or university's certification office and get some answers from your university and see what that process is. You're going to want to complete your workshops. You're going to want to apply to New York City Public Schools. When the application does open, create a Teach account, engage in job search process to obtain teaching position. So you want to start your job search, start looking for schools that you may be interested in. Your college or university, they're going to determine your eligibility. So once after you talk to them, they're going to see if you are eligible for this, and then they'll submit a college recommendation on Teach, and they'll support you through this process. So once again, if you're interested in an internship certificate, you're going to want to start talking to your school certification office. And then the New York State Education Department, they're the ones that will be awarding the internship certificate. And once again, the order of these steps may differ, so speak to your certification office for guidance. Now, here's what you'll need from your college or university. The letter of eligibility is needed as a confirmation from your school that you are eligible for an internship certificate, and is needed if you do not yet have your certificate. So when you're completing the teacher application, you will use this in place of your proof of certification. Other items needed from your university include the program code of your NYCET application and the official recommendation in NYCET. This may come before or after you have an official job offer. So check with your school, once again, certification office, if you are unsure. Okay, so beginning work with the internship certificate. So once you determine your eligibility, for an internship certificate, and begin discussions with your college and university, you'll need to make sure to take a few additional steps before beginning to work. So first, be officially recommended by your university or college. So start that process by speaking to your university. I'm not sure why these are going in order, apologies. Have a job offer from a principal. Complete the required workshops for subject area of certification, and secure a fingerprint clearance. Now we're going to jump through the application process. So we're going to talk about the application timeline, some major opportunities for those that may be interested, and the application process. So first, I want to share information about the application timeline. So currently, the New York City Public Schools application is closed for school year 2026-2027, and that application is going to open in January, and it's going to run till September. So during November and December, you can complete the mid-year teaching opportunities form, which is on our website at teachnyc.net, if you are eligible for an internship certificate. For those that are not interested in the mid-year opportunities and will be certified by September 2026, we recommend submitting your teacher application when it opens in January. So I just wanted to lay that out there first. And then now we'll talk a little bit more about the mid-year teaching opportunities form. So this is a screenshot of the form. You're going to be able to find that on our website at teachnyc.net. There's going to be a slide that I'll be able to show you that as well coming up. So this is for candidates interested in immediate full-time teaching opportunities between now and March 2026. So if you have 50% of your program complete and you may be and either have your internship certificate or are eligible, highly recommend completing this form. And then yeah, go from there. And you'll attach. Let me go back really quick. You'll attach the sample, the letter from your university, your letter of eligibility, as your certification information on that form. Now, if you do fill out this form and unfortunately don't find a position between now and the application opening, you will have to complete the teacher application when it opens in January. So completing the form. So first you'll enter basic demographic information, including your name, email, city, state, and your cell number. Now the certification information section asks about your certification status. So to be considered for mid-year opportunities with an internship certificate, you will upload your university internship certificate eligibility letter, which I mentioned earlier. There is then a question that asks you to indicate the borough where you are primarily seeking opportunities and space to write your personal statement. And then finally, you're going to upload your resume. Now, upon completion of this form, your information will be reviewed by this New York City Public Schools Applicant Services Support Team. And then once everything is verified, we will then share your information with principals who are actively looking to fill positions at their schools. So everyone who is interested in teaching for the upcoming school year, the 2026-2027 school year, you need to complete the New York City teacher application. And that is at teachnyc.net, excuse me. And now for those that submit the immediate opportunities form, and once again, don't find a mid-year opportunity, you will have to complete this application as well when it launches in January. So once again, the application is currently closed for the 2026-2027 school year, but it's going to be reopening in January. Now here is the application process. It shows the full application process for when the application opens this winter. So the first step is, so there's two parts of the application. So that's completing the common profile and then the full teacher application. Then New York City Public Schools, we review your application, and if all is well, you're then entered in what we call the new teacher finder, and that's when you can begin your job search in New York City Public Schools. So that's essentially the full process. Now, this is the typical application timeline. As I mentioned earlier, in the earlier slides from November to January, the mid-year opportunity form is live on our website for those who are interested in mid-year opportunities. So if you're interested in mid-year opportunities, we highly recommend you go to our website now, teachnyc.net, and you'll be able to fill out that form, especially if you have an internship certificate already, or if you have that letter ready already, or 50% of your program complete, and a letter from your university. So after, once the application opens and all is well, then you'll be able to begin your job search. And this just showcases the different deadlines that we have throughout the season. They'll be more relevant as when the application does open. So starting your application. So when the application opens in January, you go to teachnyc.net, and at the top here, there's the apply today, and this is going to open up this big application window, and you'll be able to find the specific application that you're looking for. So what you're looking for in January when it opens is a certified teacher application. As you can see, it's currently closed. You could sign up and get notified as well if you haven't already. And those who are looking for mid-year teaching opportunities, it's open. As you can see, you just click apply now, and that's going to open up that form, and you just fill out that form, add your internship letter, eligibility letter from university, and just complete the rest and submit. And that is going to get your application started for review. Now, also for anyone that is interested in teaching early childhood in CBOs, looks like the application just closed for this current school year, but it's going to reopen again sometime in the winter as well. So you just would click that apply now when it does open. So once again, this is all at teachnyc.net. For more information, you can also go to the website. It's brand new. It was just redesigned, and you can kind of just follow. There's a pathway section where you can essentially find your path to the classroom. So now I'm going to just show you the different parts of the application for when it does open in January. So there's two specific parts, as I mentioned earlier. First is the applicant profile, and these are just some of the sections that are on that profile. So you must complete both of these sections in order to complete your teacher application, and just some of the sections as I mentioned. So first is the account information and work eligibility. This step asks for basic contact information and a few questions regarding your work eligibility. Now, to be eligible to work in New York City, you must meet citizenship or residency requirements. You must complete all parts of the eligibility question, especially if you answered yes to the work authorization status. So if you don't disclose the work authorization status, your application will not move forward. There's also education. You have to enter your education history for both high school and post-secondary education. And candidates holding advanced or multiple degrees must first enter undergraduate degree information before entering any additional degrees. And then you have your experiences and references. This is super useful for our team, as it can inform the starting salary of teacher candidates. So the accurate input of information here is very important. There's also a section for additional information where you can attach your resume. Now, attachments cannot exceed 1 megabyte in size in this section. So we encourage you to upload your resume as a PDF to preserve your formatting. And then finally, there's a disclaimer and release statement. You're going to read through this disclaimer and release statement to acknowledge submission of information into the application system. So that's the first part. Once again, this is not going to be open until January. So you're kind of ahead of the game if you're not interested in the mid-year opportunities. So this is just things that you can get ready. You can get your resume ready. You can start reaching out to your school if you have 50% of your degree completed to start to get that eligibility letter for your internship cert. Get all those information ready for when it does launch in January. You're ready to go. The second part is the application itself. So this is the job search profile. And I'm going to talk about that in the next slide. There's your experience and certification. So this is where you're going to put your certification information. It could be that the internship cert eligibility letter. So if you have 50% of your completion of your master's and you're eligible for that internship cert, this is where you'd enter that letter when it opens in January. And then finally, there's another section for your resume and a personal statement. So as I stated in the first part is the job search profile. There's an area where you can specify your preferences. So this is where you can preference your grade levels, your boroughs, and District 75. So in the when you do the grade level section, you're just going to want to select the grade level that matches your certification. Don't select a preference for a grade level that you aren't certified to teach. There's also the borough preference section. So this is where you're going to indicate the locations where you'd be most interested in finding a job. So we have 1,600 schools in all 5 of our boroughs. Therefore, understanding your preference in terms of where you like to work is important for our staff. So the first question is going to ask you your top 3 borough preferences. So you're going to want to make sure you preference those, the ones that you're interested in teaching in that section. And then finally, District 75. District 75 is a non-geographic district, providing quality and rigorous individualized educational programs to students with significant challenges. So if you are eligible in the certification area, your resume may be shared with District 75 schools in the geographic regions you have specified. Now, this is just in this part of the application, it's going to talk about your certification details. So this, once again, is where you're going to be able to enter your internship certificate information, that the supporting documentation, that letter, or the certificate if you have it. You'll be able to enter that in the supporting document section at the bottom here. But essentially, you're going to want to enter all your certification information in this section. And then this is just the resume template. So for those who don't have a resume completed yet, that could be one of the steps that you start doing. We don't have a required template, but we do have one. Should be on our website or in our support center. But if you scan that, that should give you that template as well. We also encourage students to take advantage of a career services center at your college or university. They'll be able to help you with your resume before you upload it into the application system or into the mid-year opportunities form for those that are interested in that. And these are just some quick tips. So you have the chance to upload another copy of your resume in the application. This is the chance to ensure that your resume reflects your experience and qualifications to become a New York City Public Schools teacher. It's a critical part of your first impression, and there's just some tips. So the audience, consider what the hiring manager is looking for an ideal candidate. Qualifications, list your areas of certification and relevant experience. Use action verbs, specific examples to highlight your skills and accomplishments. Review, keep your resume clear and concise and check for grammatical and spelling errors. And finally, format, apply consistent formatting and save your resume as a PDF. This is just showcasing an overview again. Just to kind of show, once again, you're going to complete those 2 parts when the application opens in January. Then it's reviewed. Then your application will be entered in the new teacher finder, which is essentially a job board. That's where you'll be able to express interest in specific schools. And then you can begin your search at New York City Public Schools. Now, only applications that meet standards are entered into the new teacher finder. So you just want to make sure that you're following all the prompts in the application. Make sure your resume is updated, all your certification information is correct, and then essentially that will help you get through that process. Now, our final section here, we're going to talk about the job search process. So we're going to talk about the Heine boroughs and subject areas. Once again, I'm going to show you the mid-year opportunities job search process, and then finding the right position. So first, making an impact where you're needed most. So one way you can promote success in your job search is by considering districts, neighborhoods, and schools where your talents are most needed. So if you become certified in certain high demand subject areas, this is especially true. So if you are really determined to work here, you should also think strategically about where you're looking for a position. If you want to go where the jobs are, consider teaching positions in the Bronx and Brooklyn. As you can see, last year, 58% of our new hires occurred in schools in these 2 boroughs. Now, it's also important that you find a school that's the right fit for you, but don't exclude schools because they're slightly out of your comfort zone or in a different borough from where you live. Almost all of our schools are easily accessible by public transportation, and we have students who need great teachers in all 5 of our boroughs. Now, we hire across all certification areas and backgrounds. I do want to highlight the current hiring priorities for New York City public schools. Now, these priorities can shift from year to year based on the needs of our schools. So if you're still in the process of completing your certification or considering adding an extension, there are areas where principals will be hiring and where there's a high demand for more teachers to be certified. So we can encourage you to consider one of these areas where teachers are in high demand. And here is the mid-year teaching opportunities job search process. So as I mentioned earlier in the presentation, for those interested in mid-year opportunities and are eligible for an internship cert, you must complete the mid-year opportunities form ASAP. That form is open now until the application opens in January. Once again, once it has been submitted, it is then reviewed by the application support team. And then once your information is verified, your information will be shared with principals in your subject area. Principals that are interested in your profile will reach out and share next steps in their hiring process. The next slide will also show some tips that may be helpful for you in finding a position as well. That is essentially your next steps here. So if you're close to 50% of your program completion, or if you have 50%, start speaking to your university so you can get that eligibility letter from your school and begin the process of getting that internship certificate. And then you can submit that form, the mid-year opportunities form at teachnYC.net, and go from there. So now just some tips for finding the right position. So you can start researching schools online. You can start conducting outreach to schools directly. Once the application does open in January and you do apply, you will get access to the new teacher finder. So that is going to be super helpful once that the application opens and you have your application in. There's also, you can network with colleagues and professors and friends and attend New York City Public Schools networking events. Now, most of these events will be toward the spring and summer, but just keep an eye out. There could be events as we move on through this school year. So now we're just gonna start closing out here with next steps and questions. So first, the internship to initial certification. So for those who are interested in an internship certificate, just some notes here, and just to make sure that you're following the required steps to obtain your initial certificate. Since you'll need that initial certificate once your internship certificate is no longer valid. And that's usually when you finish your program or after 2 years, whichever comes sooner. At that point, your program must recommend you for the initial certification. So that's really gonna close us out here. I do want to mention our social media. So if you're not following us on Facebook, LinkedIn, or Instagram, please do. Stay tuned for all the different things that are happening in New York City Public Schools, as well as when the application is going to launch. We will shout it from the rooftops.